question that is often asked is Buddhism a religion? Or is it rather a philosophy? Or is it a way of life? This is an interesting question, and it has actually quite been a subject of quite some debate already. There has been a number of articles that were written about this subject in the newspaper The Guardian. If you want my opinion on this subject, I would say yes and no. First of all, Buddhism is not a religion in that Buddhism does not emphasize membership. We do not actually care much about conversion. Though there is a ceremony in Buddhism called the taking of refuge, when you actually take the Buddha and his teaching and his community as your refuge, it is not something that is very much the main essence of the teaching. It's much more like you are learning about Buddhism several things, and that you can take those things that you feel are appropriate for your life. And of course, you might meet a teacher that sometimes also teaches you those things that you find more difficult to digest or more difficult to accept. But you are always free to process and to decide on how much you want to learn about Buddhism and how much you want to do with it. So there isn't really in Buddhism any inner and outer group that you have. When you become a Buddhist, you have to do like this, you have to do like that. There are certain obligations as a Buddhist. Any person can simply call themselves a Buddhist, but to be a good Buddhist, of course, there is a number of qualities that the Buddha describes. But it's not like Buddhism is very interested in membership or whether a person is actually calling himself Buddhist or not. On the other hand, Buddhism has one certain religious aspect in that Buddhism does recognize that there are certain things in life that are beyond what we can see and hear, that are beyond superficial pleasures, that are beyond the superficial joy and pleasure that comes with shopping, that comes with the simple joys of life that do not really give us much happiness, the superficial happiness. So this is in Buddhism what we call the supreme happiness of the still mind, of the inner peace, or what we call the supreme happiness of Nibbana, which is something that everyone can attain by practicing the mind. This is a very high and lofty goal, but it's important to set a goal, to see what you are aiming for. Now, Nibbana is basically something that is when you have overcome your limitations of the mind, you overcome the taints in your mind, overcome all of that which makes us not truly human beings. So you could say that Buddhism does recognize that there is something to strive for in life, which is beyond what we can see and hear, which can be found deeply hidden within the human mind, and that we might also call divine, or might call something that is beyond the normal human life. But every human being is able to achieve that.